Active Member Beneficiary Designation. No one likes to think about dying, but in the event of your death, do you know who will receive your pre-retirement death benefits? Your beneficiary is the person or persons who will receive your pre-retirement death benefits. Understanding your pre-retirement beneficiary designation is essential to ensure that you have made the best decision for your current family status. As public safety officers, you need to know how your beneficiary designation impacts your pre-retirement death benefits payment. You never know what the future holds or what changes life will bring. Depending on whom and upon how many people you name as your beneficiary, the eligibility requirements that you attain at the time of your death, your beneficiary or beneficiaries may be entitled to receive a one-time lump sum payment equal to 50% of your current regular compensation plus your membership contributions with interest plus your drop or drop to account with interest or a monthly pension. Non-line of duty death. If you die while not in the line of duty, your spouse or parent may be entitled to a monthly pension. However, they must be designated as your sole beneficiary and not along with anyone else. If you designate multiple minor children as your beneficiaries, they may share equally a monthly non-line of duty death benefit. Line of duty death. If you die while in the line of duty, a death benefit will automatically be payable to your spouse for life or to minor children in equal shares if you have no spouse. Please note, if you do not have a spouse or minor children and your parent or parents are designated as your primary beneficiary or beneficiaries, they may be entitled to a monthly line of duty death benefit if they meet the IRS guidelines for dependent parent or parents. If you have no surviving spouse, minor children, or dependent parents, your designated beneficiary will receive a lump sum equal to your membership contributions with interest. F&P law defines a minor child as a child who has not attained age 22. To prevent the necessity of having a court appoint a legal guardian on behalf of your minor child, you must complete a separate designation of custodian for a minor child form. If you do not have a designated beneficiary, the F&P will pay the lump sum amount to your estate. Please visit the F&P's website at www.bcfpers.org for more detailed information on death benefits. The F&P has two types of designation for death benefits payable on account of your death before retirement: standard beneficiary designation and specific beneficiary designation. The standard beneficiary allows you to name the first living survivor or survivors as your beneficiary or beneficiaries in a fixed order. This designation type changes your beneficiary as your marital status and survivors change. The standard beneficiary fixed order is your living spouse, and if no living spouse, then to your living child or children in equal shares, but if no child or children, then to your living mother and father in equal shares, or if no living parent, then to your estate. Please note that spouse means a person recognized as a spouse under the laws of the state of Maryland. Also, child or children includes both a child born to you and a legally adopted child, whether born or adopted before or after filing the beneficiary designation form with the F&P. However, the term does not include a stepchild. It is important to remember that you cannot change the fixed order for the standard beneficiary designation. You must also complete a designation of custodian for minor child form for each minor child under the age of 22. If you want to name a specific person or persons, use the specific beneficiary designation. The specific beneficiary allows you to designate a specific person or persons as your primary and contingent beneficiary or beneficiaries. Under this type of designation, you can name any one and as many people as you want as your beneficiaries. Using the F&P's Active Beneficiary Designation Form, you can select either the standard beneficiary or the specific beneficiary. You must choose only one, as each type offers its own unique advantages. You should carefully read and compare the explanations of each designation type to see which one best suits your needs. How to complete the Active Beneficiary Designation Form. Step 1. Fill in your Social Security number, name, home phone, cell phone, and email address. Step 2. Determine which type of beneficiary designation suits your needs and check either the standard or specific beneficiary box. Caution: do not check both boxes. If you check the standard beneficiary box, proceed directly to Step 3. If you check the specific beneficiary box, complete Part A and Part B. Part A. If you check the specific beneficiary box, fill in the name, demographics, and contact information for your primary beneficiary or beneficiaries. Part B. If you check the specific beneficiary box, fill in the name, demographics, and contact information for your contingent beneficiary or beneficiaries. Step 3. Take your form to a notary public to have it notarized. Your beneficiary designation form must be properly completed and notarized to be accepted by the F&P. The F&P will only accept a properly completed beneficiary designation form. The F&P has notaries public who will notarize your form free of charge when you come into the office to complete it. Incomplete, unsigned, not dated, or notarized forms will be returned to you, and this delay could be costly to your beneficiary. Step 4. Sign and date the form in the presence of a notary public. Please take a few minutes to review your most active membership statement to ensure that your beneficiary designation is current. Your beneficiary information will be found on page 3 of your statement. It is imperative that you do this on an annual basis. You may file a new beneficiary designation form anytime to ensure your beneficiary stays current as your circumstances change. If you need assistance completing the Active Beneficiary Designation Form or Designation of Custodian for a Minor Child form, please contact F&P Member Services at 410-497-7929, option 1. The Active Beneficiary Designation Form and Designation of Custodian for a Minor Child form can be found on the F&P website at www.bcfpers.org. A completed Active Beneficiary Designation Form can be submitted to the F&P offices via mail, fax, or scanned and emailed. Frequently asked questions. I am in a same-sex partnership, but we have not officially married. Will my partner be considered my spouse if I select the standard beneficiary? No. Your partner would not be considered a spouse by the state of Maryland under the standard beneficiary designation. Therefore, select a specific beneficiary to name your partner as your beneficiary. I selected the standard beneficiary and I am now separated but not divorced from my spouse. Will my spouse still receive my death benefits even though we are separated? Yes. The standard beneficiary designation is based on your marital status. If you are not legally divorced, your spouse remains your beneficiary. I selected the standard beneficiary and I am divorced. Is my daughter now my beneficiary? Yes. Since you are legally divorced, your daughter automatically becomes your beneficiary as outlined in the fixed order of the standard beneficiary designation. I am separated from my spouse and do not want my spouse to receive my benefits. Can I select a specific beneficiary to name my children as my beneficiaries? The specific beneficiary designation will allow you to name your children as your beneficiaries. Remember to complete a designation of custodian for a minor child form for each child under age 22. However, certain line of duty death benefits will be paid to your spouse if you have not legally divorced. If I select a specific beneficiary, can I name my spouse and children as my primary beneficiaries? Yes. However, by naming both your spouse and children as your primary beneficiaries, your spouse and children will equally share only a one-time lump sum death benefit payment. Your spouse will not be entitled to receive a monthly non-line of duty death benefit payment. If you want your spouse to receive a monthly non-line of duty death benefit payment, then name your spouse as your primary beneficiary and your children as your contingent beneficiaries. Remember to complete a designation of custodian for a minor child form for each child under age 22. I am married and have stepchildren. Which beneficiary designation should I choose? You should select the specific beneficiary designation and name your spouse as the primary beneficiary and your stepchildren as the contingent beneficiaries. Remember to also complete a designation of custodian of minor child form for each child under age 22. I am engaged to be married. Can I name my fiancé as my beneficiary? Congratulations. Yes. You should select the specific beneficiary designation and name your fiancé as your sole primary beneficiary. If I use the specific beneficiary, do I have to name both a primary and contingent beneficiary? It is crucial to name both a primary and contingent beneficiary. If your primary beneficiary predeceases you and you haven't designated a contingent beneficiary, it's as if you don't have a beneficiary designation form on file. In such cases, any benefits that would have gone to a beneficiary will be paid to your estate. Can I use the F&P's Active Beneficiary Designation Form for my city-provided death benefits? No. The Active Beneficiary Designation Form only names a beneficiary or beneficiaries for death benefits payable by the F&P. This form does not designate a beneficiary or beneficiaries for city-provided death benefits or other private voluntary insurance coverage you pay for through your city paycheck. Please contact the Department of Human Resources Office of Employee Benefits and your private insurance company to update your beneficiary designation. Thank you for watching. Remember to like us and subscribe.